Hi guys, so today we are going to talk about something different. This is a review, but we are going to check together this Clicks keyboard. And in my opinion, this is a quite interesting product which caused a lot of stir in the beginning of this year because it offers the normal QWERTY keyboard experience with the iPhone 15. And today I have an actual sample, so I ordered this one for myself and we are going to talk how it feels to use actual buttons with the iPhone. But first, let's start with an unboxing and we'll see what is inside. So it arrives just like this. As you can see, the white box with the white wrapping. I'll try to cut it on the camera. Maybe it will be quick, maybe not. If not, then I will just show it in a separate cut with or maybe just speeding up the unpackaging. So let's go. Okay, so first impressions of the packaging. I have to say that the packaging is quite simple. We have this cardboard box, we have this tray which pulls out with the help of fabric tap, and also here inside you'll find various brochures and the small plastic wrap which protects the keyboard inside. As you can see, I've chosen the color which is named with a quite romantic name. It's a London Sky. And there is also another color which is a bit more bright, but I decided to go with this, I would say, a bit more strict version. And buttons stay black in both options, so it's something what you cannot influence. But there is also several elements which I would like to discuss closer. So I have keyboard here outside and already iPhone inside the keyboard. And inside is the precise word for this experience, because setting up this keyboard is quite simple. You have the USB-C port here, which inserts right inside the iPhone. You have to put iPhone while sliding in the parallel position to the case, otherwise you risk damaging the port. But the same USB-C port can be found here, so basically if you want to charge the phone, you don't have to do anything. And as you can guess, the setting up procedure is really simple because you just connect this accessory with an iPhone and it's ready to be working. For the buttons, we have all the buttons covered with this rubber covers, and we have the pictograms on them, so you know what they do, obviously. And there are no additional ports whatsoever. I will talk more about why I mentioned the additional ports when I will be discussing the experience, but now I think it's worth talking about the keyboard itself. So as you can notice, this is obviously not the same square space which is given for the keyboard on the screen, but at the same time this keyboard was created with one of the guys from BlackBerry, so that's why the expectations were quite high. We have this round circular buttons and they are in a black color. They have this distinct clicking sound, so maybe you'll hear it here with the microphone. And I would say the press itself is really distinct, so you don't have this experience when you don't understand whether the button was pressed or not, so you just click on it and it allows you for a fast typing because you get the confirmation of the press with a click. So it kind of reminds the overall experience with the BlackBerry. Even with the latest generations of the phones from this brand, they were quite handy for the fast typing, and this one is actually kind of similar to what you had in the phones from Canadian brand. On the videos here and maybe on the full screen, you will see the overall experience, how the fingers combine together with these buttons. Of course, there is a small learning curve because I would say it's getting really used to type on the physical keyboard, but I don't think it's a really difficult thing. And also here we have several special buttons. So first of all, we have this voice action button, so for the voice dictation or maybe for the Siri assistant. We also have the language change button and we have the CMD button. So this command button is used for the shortcuts. You can use it for the search, for the home, And this is quite handy because it gives you a slightly different experience from what you usually have on the iPhone, because you don't have to touch the screen, you can do everything on the keyboard. But mind that this is keyboard without any touch sensor, so you cannot slide or do anything. And I think this is something of space for an improvement for the next generation, if there will be any in the future. Because recent Blackberries had this feature and it was quite cool because it was allowing you to scroll through the pointer with the text and also maybe scroll through the pages, scroll through the web page like this, also to zoom out maybe. So this is something what can be a really great improvement here. And as for the size, well, this is something what you cannot avoid with such type of the keyboard. So as you can see, it adds extra space. So you have the typical iPhone 15 Pro Max size, and then you have keyboard added to it. So as a result, you get something like that. It's really huge, and still I managed to find pens which have the pockets deep enough to hide this phone. Obviously, this is not normal size, and for some cases it will be really difficult to put it in the pocket. But at the same side, you can see that here I'm holding it without any issue. This is thanks to the really thin frames. So that's where this case actually wins, and the material is quite soft. It's a soft touch plastic, and I think it feels nice when you hold it in your hand. And just to give you a bit of the nostalgia with the BlackBerry experience, we have here the kind of leather material on the back. You can also see the inscription here that it's the Founders Edition, and we have the number here, which is for my exact sample. And also here you can see that the card for the camera also has this protective frame, so this is not something what is difficult from a typical cases for an iPhone. And as for the holding position, well, the authors actually recommend you to put 2 fingers behind the phone, 1 finger, and this is actually this ring finger below the phone, and you type obviously with the thumbs. This is quite a typical position if you had experience using the BlackBerry. This is not something unusual or different, but the weight is still there because you know that the iPhone is quite heavy. You have a bit of weight in the lower part, but this does not help you to counterbalance, so you have to train your fingers in order to hold it properly. I wouldn't say it's unpleasant disbalance, but it's something what you should be ready for. And now I think it's also worth to mention that here we have several features which are connected with the backlighting. So first of all, of course, the backlighting is included on this keyboard, so you can use it in the dark conditions. You can switch it off, which is also good. You can also download the official Clicks app to adjust the backlighting and time off. And there is also a special color for the shift and the additional sign or the digits buttons. And this one comes in a really light pale blue. And this is something what I did not like, because I would rather prefer to have the green color, just like on the Apple accessories, just like on the Apple keyboards. And I think it would work nicely here with an Apple iPhone, of course. But overall, I think it's a really pleasant experience overall. I think it takes a really small amount of time to get used to typing fast on this keyboard. And the only thing which you might be conscious if you are not only the English speaker, because here we have only the classical QWERTY, so we don't have any additional languages, and there is no space to engrave the letters. This is a bit of a problem, but who knows, maybe Clicks will be able to resolve it in the future. So if we are talking about the QWERTY keyboard case, what is the experience and how fast do you get to type on it? Obviously, it gets some time to get typing fast on it with the both of your thumbs, but I wouldn't say this is something strange, something unusual of the experience-wise. You won't feel weird while typing on these buttons. This is thanks to this distinct click. But nevertheless, I am ready to admit that I have a few of the typos at the first time. You can see it even on the videos, which will be here in this video review. So I think it's a natural process. You just get back used to typing on such physical keyboards, so this is not an issue. But what is the problem is the big size, so you should be ready for this, and this is something what you won't be able to avoid. Maybe the slider design would be a bit more sophisticated and interesting looking, but still you'll have to connect it somehow, maybe with the Bluetooth. This is something what cannot be resolved. I think maybe this case has a bit more space I would say, to exist with a smaller iPhone 15 Pro, not the Pro Max, because it will be smaller, so obviously you get a smaller overall size, so it's a bit more compact and it's easier to use, easier to carry. But with the Pro Max it gets quite wide and quite tall, and I think it's something of a special device. Well, actually here on the case they have the interesting inscription that it's a precision typing instrument for iPhone 15 Pro Max. And maybe that's why they have one of the advantages that you can easily put it on and off. So this is a really flexible rubber here. So as you can see, you don't have to break anything. It takes just a few seconds and you can take the phone out and use your typical case. As for the questions about the MagSafe, so here we do not have any MagSafe insert in the case. And if I take such an interesting thing, I have here the pop socket which is used for the MagSafe attachment, and as you can see it finds the original MagSafe on the iPhone, but it's not I would say a really rigid connection, so you can just slide it off with the fingers, while if I take it on my typical daily case for iPhone 15, it will be just like this. Just give me a second. So as you can see, it's really difficult to budget with the fingers. So that's the difference, and that's something what you should be worried about if you are used to use the MagSafe accessories. For example, the car mount, it won't be holding properly in place, so better use the normal case which has the MagSafe mount inside. Or maybe it's just a matter of adding the metal insert here. They are being sold separately, so maybe it will work out as well. And now I think it's a time to also talk about the problems which I found with this case. So first of all, it's the size of this case, and as I was saying, this is something what I'm ready to accept, but maybe for some people it will be a bit of a turn off, because as you can see it gets a really weird shape, quite prolonged one, and it's really difficult to carry if you don't have wide pockets, or maybe you just carry it in your backpack. Another thing which I am really, I would say, surprised about is only the USB-C port, because it was really good opportunity to give a chance to have the 3.5 jack here as well, just with addition of some amplifier inside. And that would be a really cool feature, because you will be getting something extra with this case. But here you just get the USB-C. Well, you do not get anything extra. I don't know, maybe the Clicks creators left it for the next generation, but this is something what would be really cool to have here as a standard inclusion. And maybe if we are talking about the overall quality, as I said in the video, it's really good build quality. I didn't have any issues. The keyboard quacks just like it should be quacking in the case of the QWERTY phone. And also the assembly quality does not suffer. All these writings and the leather insert, they are in place after a week of use. But what I don't like is the seam lines in the silicone case. So they are visible, and in some cases they're possible to feel with your finger thumbs. So this is something what could be a bit more smooth, just to add a bit of finesse to this case. I think otherwise I didn't find any additional problems here. And you also get the special sticker inside which reminds you on how to insert the iPhone properly, so this is also not an issue. And if you're wondering about the speakers, as you can see we have the cutouts, so I didn't have any problems with that as well. And now to the price. So when I was ordering this case, as you remember, I mentioned that I have the Founders Edition. So I was in the first group of the buyers which had the privilege, let's say, to use the special price. Now the price is 150 euros for the iPhone 15 Pro Max. And what I just found out on the website is that we actually got a few extra colors. So it's not only this London Sky and also the yellow one, which is named as a bumblebee, obviously, but we also get the pink one with the blue keyboard, which is named as a Miami Beach. And one more is a Royal Ink, which is more of a navy blue with a black keyboard, which is also quite interesting combination. So 4 colors for the iPhone 15 Pro Max, and they are already available for the order. Is it the price itself? Is it justifiable? Well, I would say this is quite niche accessory, and you should be able to answer yourself whether you will be using this accessory a lot, because It is handy when you are typing a lot of text on your iPhone. It's also helpful if you want to get more space on your iPhone, because it's really a different experience when you get the more of the real estate space on the screen. You don't get it consumed with the keyboard, and this is something different from what we are used to have on the touchscreen phone. So that's why I was actually eager to order this keyboard, because it's something what brings back all of this previous experiences with the QWERTY phones, and it actually allows you to type even faster and without looking on the keyboard. I know that some of you actually have such skills, and even me, sometimes I'm able to type on the touchscreen keyboard without looking, but this one, it's obviously a different league, and we have even this typical small rise points on the center buttons. So this is something what allows you to get a slightly different speed and better experience with the case. In my opinion, this is an accessory which was long expected, and I'm really surprised that it came out just now. But in my opinion, it has the space on the market, and it will be definitely having its own fans. But as I said, there are still some space for an improvement, so who knows, maybe in the end of this year, with the next generation of the iPhone, we will see more improvements in this case, more features. And that would be actually cool, because I think they can get the overall idea up to the level of the actual BlackBerry, and that will be quite interesting. Of course, I will be happy to hear your opinion about such device. Do not forget to write it in the comment section below. And of course, if you like this video, press the like button and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And I will see you in the next video review. As usual, we'll be checking another interesting things. So stay tuned and bye. So before we finish, I just like to add a small remark here that the new colors which I mentioned, the pink and blue, they will be shipped from August 10th, while all of these normal colors, let's say, the dark gray and the yellow color, you can get them right away from tomorrow if you order it today. So this is something to keep in mind, but I think even this gray color looks gorgeous, so definitely check out their website and you will see how these combinations play out with an iPhone.